when they put us to the barracks that we're going to stay over there, it's considered our home, our house. Our bed is going to be the beds with bunkers, triple bunkers, and sleeping in the sardines, you know what I mean? So anyhow, we were outside, on the outside of the block. The weather was good, it was nice. And we are looking, the trucks are coming back and forth, back and forth. And this is not only, we find out this, and the same thing the next day and the next day. And we used to the other people, all the prisoners, they say, oh, los mataron, hasta loco este. We used to say,
they were saying that they killed them.
Yeah, they used to laugh at it, making fun. You know, what was just like savages there. You become a savage. You talk normal to the guy and he's giving you an answer, but eso de eso, you know, even que se dice, don't tell me. Oh, murieron. It's impossible. No? And then, we are talking with these people, we are, for a long period of time, we are smelling on the atmosphere, on the air, something like broiling steaks. You understand? Like having a piece of meat that you put on the grill and you are... We started talking about it. No, feel is a smell like carne asada, like broiled meat or that. Yeah, this and that. So let's find out. We used to ask, what happened? We already told there that you see that from shh. This was the signal. Yes, your father and mother. Smoke now. I just start off with it, you know, whatever is suffering. Le dio la cabeza. In other words, the meaning of whatever things one is, from all the suffering, his brains, and he's losing his brains. That's why he's talking like this. We were the crazy. He was not the crazy. He was telling the truth. He did like this. Like in a baseball game, what they say. Or basketball game, playing your game. When they do this, I remember the finger that this son of a gun threw us. Anyhow, that was the story. The crematorium was killing with the gas, and then putting inside, putting the bodies there, and they used to burn. And all of them, you know, and whatever they were doing. Now, I don't know how, I mean, I'm not a chemist. I don't know how they take the grease of the human body, the fat of the human body, you know, when they burn. They used to collect this fat and put in butter, and they used to convert this with caustic soda. Caustic soda is to make soap. And they used to make this, instead of oil, you know how you make the soap?
No. Tell me.
Well, the soap is made by caustic soda. It's a certain chemical with olive oil. You mix the one with the other to a certain percent, you know, to a certain percentages. You mix it, and automatically this turns to a glue. And you keep mixing this then keep mixing and mixing until it becomes thicker, and then you put on plates, and this is the soap, and then you cut it in the machine, you make the...
Cut it into bars.
Well, the olive oil was the human fat that were extracted from the bodies. And they used to, the caustic soda, and they used to make the soap. The only thing they used to make, they used to make baths of soap. They used to make butter. And then after that we realized this, we were living like, you know, a certain duty every day. We used to get up, go to the factory, working 12 hours, coming back, sleep the next day in the morning. They used to feed us, they used to give us a place to take a shower. When we used to take a shower, was a barrel there. So, everyone was taking a handful of this. How do you like that? Using your brothers,
The body.
or your fathers, okay, to wash your face. I mean, can you?
No.
This is the truth, Barry. This is not stories. I want to tell to this son of a bitch that said never exist. How you can do this to a human body? How you can? They took us and they put finally to the blocks, which is the barracks. About 400 or 500 in one barrack. And I spent 2 days only over there, 2 or 3 days, because the next day the conditions there were awful.
Can you describe the barracks for me?
All the barracks was just, you figure out, it's something like a rectangle place, and it's divided in 4 squares. See, each square has bunkers, 3 floor bunkers on both sides.
3 high.
3 triple bunker. And on every, the whole room was filled with these triple bunkers. Then in the center of the room, for sanitary purpose, they put a big barrel for the night for people to go and urinate. And you can imagine early in the morning the people who were sleeping next to them, they were almost dying. A bowl of soup at noontime and a piece of bread in the evening with a piece of margarine, that's all.
Soup in the evening also?
No, just a portion of bread with a piece of margarine.
Show me, how big? With your hands.
Well, it was about this tall and about this large.
In the bowl of soup?
No, that's in the evening.
Right, in the daytime.
In the daytime, just a bowl of soup. That's all.
What was in the soup?
Well, the usual things, kind of turnips and few potatoes and some beets, wild, vegetables that they have there. They used to throw everything there.
Was it hot?
Yeah, it was very hot. But we find out, we put 2 and 2 together. There was a kind of flavor of meat also, because it was the soup that they used to make for the German soldiers over there, the food that they were preparing. After they used to take the best part for them, then at the end, they used to give us the leftover and make soup for us. But our soup, it doesn't come not even close to whatever soup they used to make for the German soldiers,
So there was nothing in the morning?
No.
Just soup in the
In the morning, I tell you what, those days was nothing in the morning. But when we started, they sent us to other camps. In the morning, we used to have a cup, like on the same dish that they used to serve the food, we used to pass by a bar, and they used to have ersatz coffee or tea, which is just brown water, but hot. And we used to, no sugar, no nothing. We used to have this for people who were.
Did you eat when you were at Birkenau? Before you went to Block 10? The first 2 days?
I eat, definitely I eat because I was hungry. It doesn't taste good, but I eat because that's the only way I'm going to survive. I force myself and I eat. But I don't remember if the first day I ate, because 90% of the people the first day threw the food away.
What did the people who had been there for a long time do?
The people were there, so they used to jump on us and take away. Don't throw away, I'm going to eat it. And we, we're starting a new way of living. And when we saw this, what's going on, I said, what the hell is going on? Looks like a jungle here. The savages are jumping on us and taking. But that's it, everyone was trying to organize himself. And have a little food more, like, just than usual.
What about
Any occasion you have to have an extra food. Over there was the first thing in your mind after. That's after we went. First thing in our brains was how to have a little extra food.
what were the sleeping arrangements? Did you have mattresses in Birkenau in before Block 10?
No. Was, as I said before, the room was only triple bunk beds and large. For every bunk bed, there is about 5 or 6 people inside. 5 or 6. In other words, on the whole bunk bed, multiplied by 3 is 15 people, 15 to 18 people, on this bunk. And the next one the same, and the next one the same. The facing is the same way, just like, and then the center went like another. And then I stayed only 2-3 days there, because on the 3rd day they come out and they, all of a sudden they said, 16 years old people come in the front. So people went in the front, they select 4 or 5 and then the rest they send back. They did the same thing for the 17, 18, 19 and 20. When they say 20 years old, I jumped off the bed and I went, in the center of the minute they saw me, they select me and they put me on the side. This is the end of the barrack, not to stay there anymore.
So they took you.
From there, they took me, after they finished the selection, whatever they said, 20, 25, 30, I don't remember how many. They took us to the Block 10. The Block 10 was a destination to use us for experiments.
What did they do with you?
Well, they took us to the Block 10, and they were treating like patients. So they give us down, we have our own bed with a mattress. And the first thing they did the next day is calling alphabetically, one by one. Of course, anything in my life is first because I'm Alchik, and the A always the first. A couple of guys went in front of me, and then they called me, and they took us in a little room. I would say the big room was. Never mind, the room was a small room, but inside the room was a X-ray machine, which was the size, about 8 by 5, or 4 by 5, 8 by 5, and they were facing us. And right in the center of the machine was something like a little plate. And when they forced us, we were undressed anyhow. They told us to put the peanuts inside of this plate. And behind this X-ray machine was the technician to sterilize us. So I did whatever they were telling me to do, and all of a sudden I said, just a minute, wait. And I realized they were repeating whatever they did before. And it doesn't take too much brain to realize that the machine is not working very properly. They were having kind of problem. And they said, okay, you go. I went, but the machine didn't do 100% whatever it did to others. And they never called me back.
So you were not radiated, at least
Well,
to the
I was
extent.
radiated, but not to a certain, that's my own personal feelings. Because the machine broke down, and they stopped. And after me, they don't took nobody.
You were the last of your group.
Yeah, because 2 or 3 guys were A. Maybe I was the 4th, the 5th, or whatever. And then, forget it. They leave for the next day for the others, after they fix the machine. And they never call me back. That's a miracle. How come they don't? Because they felt like they did whatever they have to do to me.
You said that in block 10, which is the block that you were in for the radiation experiments, that you had your own bed.
Yes.
What
Really like a patient, you know, just. The food was the same. Was no privilege as far as.
Right. So the machine broke down, and you were apparently spared of having the radiation experiment.
That's a gift of God.
Yeah. What did they do with you then?
We kind of stayed there for another 2-3 days. From then, they took us by truck to Auschwitz, which is across from Birkenau. They took to Auschwitz and immediately sent us to the hospital in special care, because we are the people who are going to be tested for. But all this we don't even know nothing about. But something in our mind was kind of contemplating that something they are trying to.
You knew what they were going to do? No.
No. But when we saw that we're trying to put the peanuts over there, I said something maybe that is going to kill our sperms or something, and not be able to have a family if we survive or something. Sure, all of us were admitted there. So they took us to Auschwitz immediately in a separate section for the people for this category. And the next day they started to operate one after the other. So
In
the next,
alphabetical order again?
I don't remember. I don't remember. Oh, it depends who was closer to the. So when they took me to the room, that's the key of my life, and I always would remember till I die. They give me an anesthetic shot on my spine, and half of my body was numb. And they started the operation.
So you were awake?
Yeah, I was watching everything. Because it was on the mirror. I was watching everything, but nothing you could do about it. And we said, vivo saliremos, decimos, you know, to get out alive from here. Whatever I'm going to do. They're going to cut my arm as long as I'm going to survive. Or they're going to cut my leg, you know, everybody.
Did they strap you down?
No, no. I was on the operating table, and they were doing their bit, and I was watching them. And then I saw they took the testicle away.
You saw that?
Yeah. And one of the big shots over there, you can see by the uniform they were wearing, you know, not a silver, not a gold one. So took the testicle on his hand, it's just like a hard-boiled egg. He looked, he took a knife, and he sliced just like you cut the slices. When I saw this, it's just like, immediately I predicted, oh, we're going to die. Right now, this person is going to be something even worse. But to see your own part of your body, to do this is, you know, it's a lot of pain, a lot of mental pain. And for these people, they were with no feelings, with no emotions, unemotional people. You want to do this? Well, take it with you, go next door, next to the, you know, somewhere. Don't do it in front of the patient. No emotion at all. Anyhow, this went on. They finished, they put me back in the room where I was staying.
Who were the doctors that performed the surgery?
Well, the doctors were prisoners, you know, German people who were arrested for a certain thing, you know. There were a lot of you know, their own people were arrested and put in concentration camp for being against the regime of them or some. And among them were a lot of doctors, writers, you know, you name it. And all these people were well educated. They were doctors. But still was somebody head from the SS controlling whatever was going on in the room. And this is the one who took the testicle and cut like in it.
So he was a German SS?
Yeah. Now many times they mention Mengele. Mengele was not he all by himself. There were 4, 5 or 6, you know, watching this operation. Now I don't know, I cannot say that he was the one. See, you cannot memorize the faces of these people, you know. I don't.
But you said that there was somebody important.
Yeah, important authorities were
How
there.
did you know that? How did you know that?
But you can see by the uniforms. They have white, you know, everybody. But behind, you know, under this, you can see the shining boots, you know, the uniform, the large stars here, and, you know.
So you just remember that it was somebody important,
Yeah.
somebody high up that was there. Where did they take you after that operation?
After the operation was over, in the meantime I was almost half dead. Just looking in, you know, the door of death. You know, the next thing they're going to do is to kill you. They took me to the room and I stayed there for a while, you know, just thinking. All of a sudden they come over. They pick me up from my bed. At that time they said they claimed that was the wrong bed. We have to move it to another room. So they took me from this bed to another room, and I stayed there another half hour or sometimes, I don't remember how long I stayed, but short time. I stayed there pretty good. And they come back again, they took me back again from the bed, and they put me wherever I was before. Was a mistake, says, was a mistake. You're supposed to be there. Well,
You had just come out of the surgery.
Yeah, coming out of the surgery.
And then
Everything, whatever I'm talking about, the 2 movements, is in a matter of about 2 hours. 2 or 2.5 hours the most. And when you have a fresh cut in your body, you have a surgery, and removing this with no care or something, they used to take you just like one from the head, one from the butt, put you on the stretcher, and the same thing on the way back. It seems to me like the inside broke down. Whatever the stitches they put inside, they broke down. And the blood was coming out because the next morning, but I don't have no pain. The next morning when I woke up, I saw it was swollen in the front. And I looked further. I was the size of an orange, the size of a tangerine, over there, blood.
What did they do?
So the doctor come over and said, oh, he said, see, you are lucky. See, we took the one from everybody. They took you, but you have already won, you know, making a joke. So what they did, they wait, you know, a day or two, and then they start to suck out the blood with a syringe.
A syringe.
So little by little, until the whole thing went back to normal.
When you went to work in the camps, at the factory.
Yeah. But when I got out from the hospital, I was kind of healthy, and I started to become stronger. They sent me to, but you remember when we arrived at the first barrack, that we took the shower and took the number, and filled up an application with all my identities. I put mechanic there, and through this, they send me to this camp in Svetokrovich, which was a big factory that they were making anti-aircraft 88, the big anti-aircraft cannons, the tubes. And so they moved me over there the next day, and over there in Svetokrovich was just like a little bit much more normal, the human life. So you are a prisoner, so okay, you know you are a prisoner. You have a certain thing to do, you're going to do it. And each one is his destination was to a certain job, according to some people were welders, some people were painters, some people were, you know.
What did you do?
They put me on a milling machine. I never run a milling machine before in my life. So I went there. In 1 hour I find out, you know, the movement of the machine, that's it. And I stayed there for 2 years on the machine. On the milling machine.
But it wasn't like any other factory, it was...
No, every factory right here.
Sure, but they were creating military.
Yeah.
Things. How did you feel, or did you consider
At
that
the
you
time,
were,
didn't
you were
even
helping
pass
more
through
effort?
my this year. We were going by and see millions of times wars. People try to vandalize somebody or something, which is indirectly you are helping the cause for the Germans. And nobody was paying any attention. Up there was a question of surviving the next day. People with big authorities were arrested, with big authority. And the first thing they did, they put them the same way in other camps and other factories, and they were working and doing their own job. They were not able, you know, to fight the court, to sabotage.
Did you ever think of sabotage yourself?
Never. Never. Why should I put something? I was putting in my mind something more beneficial for me instead of.
And what was that?
I told you to have an ace in the hole for the next day, to survive. My mind up there was to give him the eye on the civilian who was working the other machine for me, and catch his eye and show him my shoes, and he look at my shoes, and with the eyes we already make a deal. The only thing was say, do me 2 loaves of bread. You give me 2 loaves of bread, I give you my pair of shoes.
And you did this?
I will, sure.
The civilians?
Yeah.
The civilians didn't live there. They lived out of the factory.
The civilians were working there. It was just like a free laborers. See, free labor. They used to work there, getting paid, and go home with their families.
And he'd do it. He would give you the bread
Oh yeah.
for the boots.
First give the bread, then I give it the
Not such a nice question, but how did you replace the boots?
Steal from somebody else. Who gives it then? You see now that's my answer. But I'm thinking, helping the cause for the. They were sorry for me. They killed my father, my mother, my whole family for no reason, and I'm going to feel sorry for friends or my allies that I'm working in Pharaoh. Then who? Well, this operation, when you start from here to there, takes about 20 minutes. Sometimes take 15 minutes, sometimes maybe 25 minutes, because the machine is running and the car is cutting the metal. And you're looking. Many times, by looking, night shift, tired, and not sleep the night before, you are looking at the card and they put you to sleep. You understand? And especially when it's night shift, you know, this poor Czechoslovakian was kind of older person. He was looking, he fell asleep. And the SS guard was inside the factory. That was his job, to check, and if everybody's walking, I'm going to tell you something about the guy. Saw the guy, he was sleeping. He took the pistol, Rheumatoid. Rheumatoid just like everybody.
He killed.
He killed the old man.
Just for falling asleep.
Not because he was sleeping. Now talking about sleeping on the job. I'll tell you what happened to me, my friend. And this is the same guy who killed this old man. Was a mean son of a bitch, young man. Very, very mean. He took it for him was just like a pleasure. Like an alcoholic taking a shot of whiskey. My milling machine was, here is the separation of the wall. And here is the machine. And here is the center aisle. So, in between the wall and the machine was a little line, something like this. And was, on the bottom of the machine was something flat. And I used to sit down there in the night when I have the